Rolly Romero got a big fight coming up against Isaac Cruz, and he lets his lips start a-rolling about Errol Spence Jr. They trade words. I have fun. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back. Rolly Romero back out there acting a fool in his last days as the 140-pound WBA champion. And Errol Spence Jr. puts a wager on him after he talks kind of crazy to Errol Spence over there on Twitter. Now, before I get into the details of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And I'm going to be laughing at Rolly Romero as usual because, man, Rolly Romero goes out of his way to talk crazy about Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. catches a stray for no reason whatsoever. When Rolly jumps out there and says, Rolly ain't never lied, and said that Errol Spence Jr. has no defense. Errol Spence Jr. then responds and says, yeah, okay, but I bet you $40,000 that you ain't getting past Isaac Cruz. Rolly Romero does not respond from what I can see, which to me means, hey, man, Rolly is willing to roll his lips, but he ain't willing to put his money where his mouth is. Now, what's the significance of this? Not a lot. Not a lot. Back and forth between Rolly and Errol. Rolly is probably somebody that should not be talking about somebody's lack of defense because Rolly lacks a lot of stuff, mainly talent. like mainly the main thing that Rolly is missing that Errol Spence Jr. has a lot of is talent and even offensive skill. But Rolly has defense. I don't know about that. I'm looking forward to the fight, though. I wouldn't take any bet from Errol Spence Jr. for $40,000 on Rolly Romero. But at the same time, I wouldn't bet against Rolly Romero either because, look, man, the dude's got big power. He's significantly a bigger fighter, bigger, frame than Isaac Cruz. And Isaac Cruz, while he is definitely a machine out there and is definitely coming with it, definitely trying to throw big shots, a lot of overhand hooks and all of that kind of stuff coming out of Isaac Cruz. Rolly is going to have to try to find a way to keep Isaac Cruz off of him. However, the problem is that Isaac Cruz can definitely get hit with something by Rolly. That Isaac Cruz may not be able to get up from. All in all, though, it's a really good fight. And again, I'm looking forward to it because this is a fight that we know is going to happen on March 30th. What is this? This is the March 8th. So we have roughly 22 days. We have 22 days left to this before this fight. There are a lot of people asking, when is there going to be a PBC card? When is this Amazon Prime thing going to really be real? And this is going to prove, hopefully, and shut people up that this fight card and that the relationship with the PBC and Amazon is actually real. And it's a fight that we know is going to take place, or at least we know the fight card is going to take place, where there's some other cards where we're not quite sure what's going on with that. And that being the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight. Don't really know what's going on with that. But then after that, you got another card coming up, which apparently is solidified for Amazon Prime, which is the Canelo Alvarez fight versus Canelo versus, I think, Jaime Munguia in an all-Mexican showdown, which should be held in Vegas. I'm looking forward to that card as well. Now, there's word out there that it may be the pay-per-view may also be shown on DAZN. So there's going to be some people out there, naysayers out there, they're going to try to cotton on to that, particular circumstance and try to pull themselves out of the realm of I've been wrong this entire time, but not going to work. So what? We're going to see what the who the actual people that are producing the fight are. And that's probably going to be the PBC, because the PBC are the ones that are paying for it. But Jaime Munguia and Golden Boy have responsibilities to DAZN, so they'll give an option for people to buy it over there at DAZN, which will probably also make it available to people outside the United States on DAZN. I'm not sure whether or not the Amazon Prime's deal with the PBC is worldwide, even though I have a suspicion that it is, seeing as I know that Ray Flores went out to, who used to be an announcer for the PBC and has announced a lot of the PBC cards, actually went out there to Bangladesh or somewhere to call one of the Amazon fights. So I think it is. But anyway, at the end of the day, I'm really looking forward to this stuff. I'm hoping we can get more and more fights start to get announced, because the January, as you know, January and February was relatively slow. We have had fights. We have a fight card coming up today with Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou. I'm not really interested that much in that particular fight. I'm much more looking forward to the fight, the Zhang Joe Joyce fight. I think that's a good fight. But look, man, this fight is coming up on the 30th. Isaac Cruz is a very, very live. I mean, I think Rolly Romero is a live underdog to Isaac Cruz. I think that Keith Thurman is a live underdog to Tim Tszyu. And this fight card is pretty much, I think it's pretty much a can't miss. All the way down to the bottom of the card, man, where you have I think Carmel Moten is probably going to be on like the non-televised version, or the portion that they may put up on Premier's Champions YouTube channel. But that kid is a spectacular fighter. I'm looking forward to Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora is a very good fighter and is always in exciting fights. It's good to see him making his comeback. I think he might have won one fight since that last time that he got knocked out by Mendoza, but he's actually fighting for the WBC. The WBC championship that was taken from Jermell Charlo when Jermell Charlo was elevated to champion in recess. So just all in all, man, I think that this stuff is like really good fight. Then you have, who is that? Lara versus Zarafa. That's going to be a good fight. All around, very, very good, man. All around, very, very good card. Now, as far as Errol Spence Jr. and this $40,000, again, man, if I was Errol, I would keep that money in my pocket, because you never know when you're going to need it. And Rolly Romero is definitely a live underdog for that fight, man. I'm waiting to find out what Errol's going to do next, now that it appears that Terrence Crawford is going to be going up to 160 to fight Chris Eubank Jr. Man, I just got, right before I did this video, I did a video about that. Man, I'm not looking forward to that garbage at all, because, like, man, who cares about Chris Eubank and Terrence Crawford when you could have Terrence Crawford fight Jaron Ennis for undisputed at 147? Again, though, you got to do what you got to do. If he wants to stay active and he wants to get the money, he's got to do it. There was rumors that it was going to be that he was going to fight Campbell Hatton. At least we know now that that's not true, because that would be a very, very terrible, terrible, terrible mismatch. But Terrence is going to get some sweat from that. Now, Errol and what he's going to do next, maybe he'll fight the loser of Tim Tszyu versus Keith Thurman. I personally think Errol's probably got a good chance of making that fight with Tim Tszyu. That probably would be the next move for him. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.